things aren't always as they seem.
Looking back on all the chances that I missed, some I held, some slipped away. One street over where my memories exist, I wondered what would change, I really couldn't say. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today. Except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today. Everywhere I could have ended up just like that broken road, with a dead end in my path. Thank the Lord that I've got more than that. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I won't forget the lessons that I don't deserve. One street over there's a life I could have known would have kept me from the one I love today. One street over there's a life I could have known.
Oh, good morning. How you doing? Let's get to it. This is 1100 WSGI. I'm U-Turn LaVern, and this is One Street Over. Welcome to it. Another day, Wednesday, hump day, getting into it. How are your kids doing out there? Are you kids doing okay as far as, you're back at school? I know that, everybody's a little sluggish here in Robertson County, but they took the ACTs yesterday. The seniors did. So now we got to get back to business, guys. It was a lot of nonsense yesterday unless you were taking the ACT, you were just kind of running around all over school and doing all kinds of other things. But it was a lot of fun. And so now, okay, kids, I'm just telling you, we got to get back to business. We got to get the grades in today. Report cards come out Friday. That's where we are in Robertson County. But the students that are with me today are Sumner County. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
And your teacher's here with you, the lovely Jennifer Gatlin, and she was here. You'll remember she was here with us. It's been a couple of weeks. She is the author that we talk so much about, and I just can't say enough about her work. I just love it so much, and it's just inspiring to see her do what she does. And she's also my sister in the faith up at Madison Church of Christ. But this is about the kiddos. They got up early. We call it Dark 30 in the radio business. And it's so much fun. They're with DECA. And we started talking about this, about a month ago. I was approached because of the work that we do with Celebrate Recovery, that DECA has a project that is in association with that. And I'm just so impressed that you guys even know what Celebrate Recovery is and all of those things. But I've got Anu Richards in the house. Hi, get right on that microphone.
Hi.
We want to talk right into the front of
Yes,
it
ma'am.
there. Okay. And you can tip it down a little bit so it's easier. Yeah. So there you go.
Thank you.
And then we have Cole Elizondo.
Yes,
Did I
ma'am.
say it
Hello.
right?
Yes, you did actually.
Okay. Very good. I'm getting it. And so welcome. He's got his DECA shirt on, making sure he's repping it here.
Missed the memo.
You missed the memo.
missed the memo.
I knew. Oh my goodness. I love your name.
Thank you.
I knew. That is so cool. And yours is wonderful too.
Thank you.
Different, that's really cool. But anyway, so they're here with DECA, and these and those are all acronyms. What does DECA stand for? Do y'all know? Come on, Jennifer, get on it. Get on it.
It used to stand for Distributive Education Clubs of America, but once that became an outdated term, it's just more of a word now. They
Okay,
just kinda
DECA's its
adapted the
own.
word.
Okay.
So it's
but I
just
didn't want to be wrong.
Well, honestly, and in the world of acronyms and teacher acronyms, everything's an acronym, and it's just so funny. And so DECA, and it's what is the organization about? What's the background of DECA? I mean, what is your purpose? Because I mean, we have different organizations that do different things, like FFA. We know that's about farming and all of the agriculture. So what is DECA's mission, maybe?
So DECA is an organization that kind of caters towards marketing and business relations. And it gives kids like an opportunity to practice that and to go be in front of like real judges who judge like those skills. They have tons of different categories, like they're startup businesses. And so you can start a business and then build a plan or continue it. Or for like what we're doing a project management. And so we're doing something called career development. So we're trying to develop career skills in different age groups.
I love that. And then what made you think about connecting it to Celebrate Recovery? That just blew me away because it's such a great idea. So where did that come from? Cole, do you want to field that question?
Yes, so going into our project, we kind of wanted to hit like 3 tiers. So we started with the middle school and then moved on to high school and Celebrate Recovery with the adults, and we wanted to hit as many age groups as we could.
Okay, so you went for career development. You middle school. You got to be thinking about this, and that's an initiative now statewide from the career and technical education. I have a friend. He's doing that in the middle school level. So they're starting at middle school going, you need to be thinking about these things. And then you go high school and then you get into the adults. And a lot of people, especially the ones that get misdirected because of addiction of some kind. So do some of you, how do you know about Celebrate Recovery?
We have a third partner and her name's Rebecca McCormick. She couldn't make it here today, but her uncle is in Celebrate Recovery. And he was talking to her. She was bringing up the project. And he was talking to her about how impactful he thinks these skills and things we could bring would be to Celebrate Recovery. Okay. And so from there, we tried to see if we could partner with them, and we can. So that's why.
I love that. And I was at Celebrate Recovery last night at Epiphany Baptist Church. We have a lot of guys at the Hope Center. I'm going to connect you guys with Hope Center and see if maybe y'all can't present something there, because that's really, I mean, you talk about boots on the ground. That's it. Because these guys, and there's a woman's house, I think, up in White House maybe, but this one is all male, but they're all working to that goal of re-entering the workforce and getting their life back on track. And this is perfect for them. And so, so unpack it for me. What is your plan to help these folks with their careers?
Okay. So for each group, we do something a little different, but for Celebrate Recovery group, we met with a liaison from Celebrate Recovery and we discussed like what skills and what videos they would need, because one of our goals is we will create 10 videos for them outlining different things they can that will help them. So Cole can tell you some of the videos.
Yeah, so we have videos on resumes and what to put in them, what to wear to job interview. Also,
how to professionally dress.
Yes. How to act in an interview. Just a lot of soft skill stuff.
I love that because, and my friend that I think is the one that you talked to with Celebrate Recovery, Miss Mary Rainey.
Yes, ma'am.
And Paul Rainey's bride, he's always on here talking to us or sharing the show with us this morning. But I think that's outstanding because she says, "Oh, LaVern, you got to find out about this because they're doing videos." And that's what I teach audio video production. And so I think it's so cool that y'all are using that skill. That's why I keep telling all my kiddos, every single one of you, I do not care what field you're going in, you need to have audio video skills because you're everyone going to need them because we're in that society. You got to know how to do this stuff and do it well and make it look good. And I'm sure I can't wait to see your stuff. Have you got all these videos produced?
So we have about 2 videos made right now, but
Okay.
they're not up on YouTube.
Okay.
When we go to Celebrate Recovery next,
No, we're going the first
week of
We
November.
were just discussing.
we'll
that.
we'll show 1 or 2 of those videos, but
Uh-huh.
we have them all planned out and they're getting filmed and edited right now.
Okay, wonderful. So, which ones are the 2s you've gotten finished, Cole?
We finished the resume one and our Dress for Success video for the middle school.
I think that's wonderful. I think that's great. And and as soon as you guys get all this stuff ready, we certainly need to share it with, all the different folks that I know. And there's so many different avenues. And not just in Celebrate Recovery, there's all these sober living homes. There's a lot of them. I mean, there's a bunch of them up in Madison. And there's there's the big one up here, Hope Center, and then you've just got them all over. And because of Recovery Court, I was telling you, we've got Recovery Court. They're going to be in here on Friday. Judge Joel Perry, we got Megan, got Althea coming in, and we're going to be talking about. We have this program of Recovery Court, and then they have a graduation twice a year. Our graduation's Thursday. The folks coming through that program, they need these skills. I mean, you're talking about having a career closet where they can come and get clothing and stuff. They're going to be doing that through Celebrate Recovery at the counseling center. So, all these things, just the fact that you guys are aware of the need is, I think, just beautiful. Because, you guys are, how old are you, Cole?
I'm 15.
Okay. And Anu?
I'm 17.
That y'all get this early. That's what things like, when you've got teachers like Miss Gatlin, and that do this kind of work and say, hey, we need to reach out and we need to look into this. But it doesn't sound like she had to give you the idea. It sounds like your fellow classmate came up with the idea for Celebrate Recovery.
Yes, ma'am.
That's so cool. I love that. We're talking, what school are y'all a part of? Tell me the-
We're Station Camp.
Station Camp. I couldn't remember. I think it's like on your shirt there, isn't it? I just folded in. I saw Station there. There we go. But they're part of the Station Camp School up in Sumner County, and the DECA program, which is a business organization, and so many good things through these clubs. I cannot say enough about it. Getting the students involved. I just love being a part of the education community and all the things that I learn. And I say, and I need to pause and do a break. And just real quickly, we're going to talk about one of our sponsors, and we're going to continue talking with our students. We got to get them out of here straight up 7:30 because they got to get to school. But we need to pause and talk about my friends Corbin Creek Greenhouse Gifts and Gardening Center. Here you go, guys. If you are wanting to get your garden ready for fall, get ready for spring. I know, let's start talking about spring, but Miss Amy, she is not a cold weather person. And so she wants to turn the heat back up real quick. And so I guarantee you, she's already got her mind on spring. That's how she gets through winter. But it's a great time to get the perennials in the ground. Perennials mean something that you can plant that will come back year after year after year. And guys, those mums that you have sitting on your porch that you're not watering and keeping alive, keep them alive, and once the budding's done, plant them in your landscape. And guess what? They're going to come back year after year after year. I've seen a few homes that have done that beautifully. It's like a carpet, or not. It's like a quilt of all these different colors of blooms. It's absolutely beautiful. Amy can tell you how to do that. If you'll go out and talk to her, now's a great time to visit with her. It's not so busy. She's not out in the garden picking stuff. But you can go see her at 4920 Highway 161 in Springfield, 4920 Highway 161. Or you can give them a call at 615-384-3185, 615-384-3185. Go by and see them. Go inside the store. Look at all the handcrafted items from Miss Jane. Just wonderful stuff. I love all my pot holders and aprons and things like that she makes. Of course, the local, if you're interested in CBD products, it helps me with my arthritis. This is where you get local CBD produced from the plants her brother Bill grows, locally produced, and something that my hip replacement doctor recommended I try for my arthritis, and I have been stunned. and how much it's helped me. You got questions? Go see them today. Corbin Creek Greenhouse Gifts and Gardening Center, 4920 Highway 161 in Springfield. Always please let them know that U-Turn sent you. And we are talking with Cole and Anu. They're from Station Camp. Their teacher, Miss Gatlin, is hanging in the background letting them talk. They're doing great, Jennifer. My goodness. You talk about some... I'd love to have them with my, in my classes where I could put them in front of the camera. So are you guys on camera? Are y'all the ones doing the work? Or
So yeah, in our middle school videos, because we want to cater to each age group, like you said, in our middle school videos, we want to make them more fun and interactive. So in our middle school videos, we are in the camera a lot. But then when we get up to the higher age groups, we try to do more voiceovers, or we'll have adults be in them so that they cater to the age.
There you go. And I love that you know what voiceover is. That's something that I teach. I'm like, what's a voiceover? And that's just where your voice is over the top of video and pictures and all that. And it's not, talking right to the camera. But anyway, so what are we missing here, guys? As how you're going to put this up on YouTube, make it available. Y'all are going to come. If you want to be, let me just put this invitation out to you. Celebrate Recovery meets everywhere. There's not a night of the week that you can't find a Celebrate Recovery program, guys. You can get on the app and put in the zip code and it will lead you to one. Now, Sunday, not so much, but that's because there's services everywhere that you can be a part of. But any other night of the week, you can find a Celebrate Recovery pretty much in a 50-mile radius in this area. Now, the ones that I'm affiliated with, I work with the one over on, let me turn the music off. All of a sudden, it just got a mind of its own here. But I work with the one over in at Epiphany Baptist Church here in Springfield, but then I also work with the one at Madison Church of Christ. And we will meet tonight, by the way, for our 2-year anniversary. We'd like to invite you to come out. We'll have a meal at 5:45, and then the service, or the big large group, starts at 6:30. And then we will not have open share tonight because we're going to have an extended large group, but we got a cake and everything, so it's going to be fun. And so we want to invite you to come out and join us. But these kiddos will be with us the first Wednesday in November. First Wednesday in November. And what time? We've got y'all coming out at 5 or 5:30. I forget. What time have we got y'all?
I think it's 5:30. We were
5:30.
going to be there for the dinner and do our little spill and then let y'all go to large.
And what Jennifer's talking about is we have our meal 5:30, 5:45 is when we start. So they're going to be there during the meal to talk to those that are present and make their presentation. And then we go to large group at 6:30, because here's the thing. Celebrate Recovery is an adult ministry. And that's, we had talked about, well, can they come in? I'm like, no, because it's an adult ministry, 18 and over. There's something called the Landing for teens, and there is a landing group that meets up at Epiphany. So we do have a teen group up here in Springfield, and there's one at Long Hollow. If you have any friends at Long Hollow, there is a landing that meets there that you guys could go into and maybe do something with that youth group. But they'll be at ours, Madison Church of Christ, first Wednesday in November, and they will be there at, just come on down at 5 o'clock and get settled, but they'll be there making their presentation at 5:30, and we're looking forward to it. So what are you going to present to us when you come in? Cole, you go.
So we're going to have pretty much just a slideshow and a video. We're going to be talking about some skills that you can have in the workforce, and just kind of an introductory session.
And you had said something about clothes closet and things like that. Are y'all bringing some articles of clothes for people to look through?
Yes. So we have set up, people have donated clothes to us, and like professional dress, some blazers, some dress pants, some nice dresses, and we're going to bring them in so people can have resources.
So do you have quite a bit of that? And what have you got?
We do. We have quite a bit. And it ranges from like all sizes to like all different.
Okay. Well, what I'll do, in the recovery houses in that area, I know the woman who runs those. I'll let her know y'all are coming. And I don't know that I can get them there, but I'll try. And we'll have our normal group there. But I'd love for the ones that are in the recovery homes to see this. And so we'll see what we can do about getting some of them there, because they're just, and that's a thing that turns over constantly as people go in and out of recovery. Unfortunately, some people, they get there and they really work it hard, but a lot of people, kind of come and go. It takes them a while for it to really click. But I think that's a great idea. So, so we're looking forward to having you guys there. What else are we missing here, guys? What else have we not covered that you'd like to talk about? We've still got a good 10 minutes. So,
well, and their presentation is going to be on that particular night will also be how to get them to the YouTube channel, because they're going to set up this YouTube channel so that they can access it, but they're also going to go over maybe where they could go to get internet access if they don't have it at home.
Okay.
So that night they'll be able to tell them some resources of where to access the internet, and then once they have access, they're going to set up a YouTube channel so that they can get to these videos at any time.
Mm-hmm.
So that if they've got an interview coming up in 2 months, well, they can prepare, or they can watch the one they need the most the night before.
Okay, let me reiterate that because she's off mic, but I think you could hear it in the room, but let's just kind of reiterate that. What she's saying is that on the night that they're up at Madison, why don't one of you kids reiterate what Miss Gatlin just said?
Basically,
Recap that right
on the night that we
thank you.
On the night that we go up, we will show them how to get to like our resources. One of our, it's a little convoluting, but one of our videos is like how to find resources, how to get to a library, and log on, and then find our videos, so that because their videos and everything stays on the internet, you can have them at any time that you need. So if you have an interview in about 2 months, well, you can watch the videos in 2 months. You don't have to watch them right now, or you could refresh on them if you do watch them right now.
Mm-hmm. And like the point you made about reminding them how to get access to resources, about going to the library, going to places that have hotspots to where you can log in. Now and if you have a phone and those kinds of things, a lot of people don't. Maybe they do, or what'll happen, and you'll find this out in a lot of people that are in recovery, they'll have a phone that is a benefit phone, and they'll run out of time, or they'll run out of and so there'll be a week in the month where they have no service, and the only way for them to get digitally connected is to go to a library. Is there another source other than the library where they could go and actually use a computer? Because I don't think I know of one that you could actually log in. You can go into a lot of places and use their hotspot, but McDonald's, Starbucks, all those kind of places. But for as far as a place where you could actually get your hands on a device where you could log into your accounts, I think the library's it, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, I haven't heard of any alternates of that. But if y'all come up with one, let me know. 'Cause that's a big question. That is a big question. I think that's wonderful. And what a great idea, guys. I just think this is wonderful. Go ahead, Cole. You look like you got something to say. Chime in here.
I'm just really glad that we're able to kind of get this information out to like more people, and get these people knowing about more soft skills, because if we're being honest, in school, they're not taught a ton. That's a huge point, is that there's a lack of soft skills in a lot of school programs. So it's really, it's nice that we're able to make an impact on.
I find that, okay, you keep saying soft skills. How would you define soft skills?
Soft skills are pretty much skills that would help you in the professional workforce, such as maybe how to shake someone's hand, how to present professionally, like not walking too fast, not like just having your back to the audience, and just sitting up straight, like good posture, that kind of stuff, where in a job interview, it'll improve your chances of getting the job.
And I find that so interesting. We have our home room that I have, and I have these kids till they graduate. So they're my kids, and I need to help them with soft skills because I've got them at home. I'm not trying to teach them a subject, but I need to help them with soft skills. And I had one that was presented to us yesterday while we were moving around that I thought is a really big one, setting up a personal email. Because so many of these kids, they've got and I'd never thought about it. So many of them have their school email the minute they graduate, very quickly, within weeks, it's gone. And so if you're thinking you're going to go in and look up that email that so-and-so sent you about such and such, for your college, it's gone.
Yeah.
And they pointed out yesterday, because my kids are juniors, and so they're getting ready for senior year and graduation now. And she told them, she says, from this point on, do not put your school email on anything I give you. Establish a personal email. That's a soft skill that people don't even think about. You need an email. So go ahead.
Along with that, like we talk about soft skills so much and how it's so important with us. We have an acronym that we go by. So our project is called Conquer the Climb, and our acronym is CLIMB. So we have C for collaborate, L for learn, I for initiate, M for motivate, and B for build. And with each of those things, we're trying to do that. Like we're trying to collaborate with everyone we can. We're trying to make sure that people are learning not just at the smaller age groups, but all the way through.
Yeah, we want to like initiate them into just wanting to do something with their life that they really want to do.
Yep.
And motivate them the same way. We don't want people to like do a job just to do a job. We want it to be something that they really do like.
And if they're feeling like apprehensive to doing so because they don't know the skills, like that's another way we can help. We can motivate them by allowing them or helping them learn the skills they need. And then, of course, just building their knowledge from wherever they were.
Right. That's wonderful because so many people, they think, I talk to students that, what are you planning on doing? Well, I think I'm going to go work up there. And I'm like, is that what you really want to do or just what you think that's your only choice? And a lot of them, they think that's really their only path. It's like, you've got any path you want in front of you. There's no limit. I tell my kids all the time, man, I'm so jealous. Man, if I'd had all, because I have all kinds of things going on. She does too. Your teacher does too. Anybody who writes and does all these things, you have that creative thing going on. And if we could do the things you can do now when I was a kid, look out. Of course, I would hope that somebody would teach me about the disciplines and the responsibilities of social media because that's a thing too. And I mean, you know, that's something that a lot of people too, they don't understand. Being responsible on social media is a soft skill, but it's crucial. It is crucial.
Like you were saying, people just don't know what they can do. Like we see that as a problem. So we've reached out with Goodwill and we're going to have them come to our school and just talk about all the programs that they have because Goodwill Career and Tech, like Career Center, there's so many things you can do. You do not have to go to college in today's world, but you are going to have to do a job interview. So it's very crucial that you know these skills.
Yeah, so
Very good. Go.
we have a career seminar planned, a career fair for the high school too. We really just want to open up all these students in people's like eyes so they can see all the career options that they really have. Like our partner Rebecca, she actually made a slideshow with a good amount of careers that a lot of people may not think about, but also may be interested in, and we're going to present that to people as well.
Oh, I'd love to see that. I had, well, in one of my classes, I had my students do a PSA, and one of the groups wanted to do a PSA on jobs you might not have thought of. So it's kind of along those same
Yes,
lines.
very much.
So I'd kind of like to compare what they had with what you had, because they actually kind of struggled a little bit to come up because I liked the idea, but I'm like, well, then tell me what you got.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, I don't know. And so, you know, so I just would really love to hear kind of, and I don't mean that, I'm just teasing them, but I would like to hear some input from another source, you know, to maybe kind of help spark their interest too, because they still haven't quite finished that. But that's a project they're working on. So what are we missing, guys? We got a couple of minutes left. Anything that y'all think we haven't covered? So we pretty good. So what time's the bell ring?
8:15.
8:15. Uh-oh. It is 7:28. Can you make it, Miss Gatlin?
It's gonna be close.
It's gonna be
A little
close.
close.
Are y'all all right? Are y'all all riding together?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, I
yes.
figured you would be.
Maybe making a phone call and saying, "Hey, we're coming in just a couple minutes."
There you go. There you go. They're on their way. Well, thank you guys so much for
Thank you
joining
so
us.
much
for
And I
having
look forward to
us.
seeing you guys in a couple of weeks.
Yes.
And I will promote that and keep promoting it. And I will reach out to the recovery houses and say, hey, this is special. Come on down. And, you know, I think it's wonderful you providing the clothes closet. We'll see if we can't get you some folks in there.
Thank you so
you
much.
so much.
Thank
for
y'all
having
for
us.
being here. Thank you, Miss Gatlin, for bringing them. And thank you to Anu Richards and Cole Elizondo.
Yes, ma'am, you got it right.
I'm getting it. All right. Thank you, guys. I'll let you make your
Thank
way
you.
out. Ryan Martin's our city manager's here. He's going to make his way in. Thank you guys again for making the drive, and I'll look forward to seeing you guys soon. Thank you, Jennifer. God bless y'all. And as we continue on, let's continue on with our sponsors. I want to talk about Barry and Rebecca Richards with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team. They've been one of my sponsors, just like we were talking about Corbin Creek. Really, one of our oldest sponsors, and we just love them so much, and we appreciate them. But you know, as I try to present the content for Barry and Rebecca, you know how to get in touch with them. Sellwithbecky.com, buy BUYRobertsonCounty.com. You know that they specialize in Robertson County properties, but they also buy and sell in the surrounding counties and across the state line in Kentucky. But it's whenever Barry came to me and he says, hey, we're opening a downtown office. And remember, I'm a broker. Becky's a broker. And while we do help each other, we're still independent brokers. And so we kind of started approaching what we say about them a little differently, in the sense that we want to remind you, again, that Barry is the broker here in Springfield. They have that downtown office now. Rebecca is the broker up in White House. And if you Google them, you can find all kinds of things about them. Just Google Barry Richards, Exit Realty Garden Gate Team. His webpage is going to pop up. You're going to find out about historical properties that they've managed and sold. You're going to find a place where it says start your search. You can put in your zip code and it will take you to the properties that they have listed. Or maybe you have some property you want to sell. You can kind of see what the market's looking like in an area where you're wanting to sell some property. And you're also going to see that he's a marketer. It comes out of that marketing background we talk a lot about. And then if you Google Rebecca Richards, Exit Realty, you're going to get a Facebook page, you're going to get a web page, and you're going to get her story. And she came out of a radiology background. Isn't that fascinating? She's been at this a long time, one of the first in the area to be a seniors real estate specialist, but she's got an interesting background because she wanted to do something different. Now, if that's somebody buying or selling, or maybe you just want to be mentored into real estate, they can do that for you. Exit Realty is a great team to help you make that journey and to make a career change, or maybe it's just something you want to do a little extra. If you want to talk to them at all, I said Google them, or sellwithbecky.com, buy, B-U-Y, robertsoncounty.com. Rebecca's number, 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425. And please, 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 when you do reach out to them, let them know that U-Turn sent you. And I'm so thankful to have my friend Ryan Martin in the house. And I love you so much, because I forgot to call you last night and say, okay, I know we've been moving you around a lot, but yes, tomorrow's your regular time, and I am expecting you. And so since you hadn't heard from me, I'm guessing you're thinking, okay, we're on. We're back on schedule.
That's what I figured. I figured no news was good news, that I was supposed to be here. So
I'm going to try my best to leave your schedule alone, because it's just, I moved Billy Vogel from yesterday to next week because we had the Croatians in town. I don't know if you thought that. They've got these guys from Croatia, Tomislav, and his guitar player, Tommy Marsh, Crooked Eye Tommy, did a tour in Croatia. So his friend that arranged all that, Tomislav, he came in for the Blues Festival Saturday.
the mayor was telling me about that. Yeah.
And so he came in for that. And also he's up for a Josie Award on Sunday night. And they're going to be playing around town this weekend. So go to Crooked Eye's page and Crooked Eye Tommy and just see all the details about that. But amazing. You need to watch the show yesterday because he played his harmonica.
Oh, wow.
My only regret is that I didn't have him on that mic versus that, because his voice is not loud. And so my volume levels, that mic's just a little bit stronger, so because of his accent and stuff, the couple of times the big thing is we got great music, the harmonica and the live guitar.
That's
and
awesome.
Singing. It was cool.
Yeah.
It was a cool show yesterday. So that was fun. Yeah. But you're back on schedule. Thank you.
That's right.
What's happening?
The mayor told me that was a great music
awesome.
Saturday.
Awesome. Didn't have enough people there. We got to figure out how to build that up, because I'm telling you, wow, what a thing for Springfield. A blues festival with that kind of, the talent was extraordinary.
That's what she said. It was just awesome.
I don't know what we have to do to get the people out. And I don't know. Part of me wonders if maybe getting it away from fall break might help. The weekend before or after fall break might be problematic. Because I know Ace went last year, but she was out of town this year. Mm-hmm. So, and so there's people who I know would have been there.
Sure.
They were traveling.
Yeah. We were out of town, and half of Robertson County was in East Tennessee, I think, because we saw quite a few folks in East Tennessee over the fall break week. So, yeah.
That's just it.
It's a tough week.
It may be that, but I think it's too, he's trying to position it around the Josie.
Okay.
So I don't know, because so it's just that trying to find that sweet spot of where this is going to work, and we can really fill the venue, and really, because it's just, man, I love it. I'm so thankful for him in town. He's an asset.
Yeah.
And the Croatians are here. It's a Croatian invasion this weekend. You still have a chance to see them, and they're fun. Anyway, Ryan Martin's here, city manager. And what you got for us?
Well, the first thing I want to make sure everybody knows about, and they hopefully have heard about it by now, and I know we've talked about it a little bit, is our comprehensive growth plan that's going on. We have a study that's being conducted for comprehensive growth plan, and I want to make it clear on the front end that how we grow is up to the citizens. I mean, we really need and want the input from the people that live here on how we grow, and that's what that's designed to do. We've had a huge response so far to the survey, the public input portion of this, which is kind of the front end. The public input portion is the front end of the study, because then that helps drive, once all the research is done, that helps drive the outcome and the results. And so we had an open house at City Hall probably, I guess 3 weeks ago, right at 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, and had a big turnout. The boardroom was full of folks that came out to hear and share their input. And then we have an online survey. So for those that missed the open house, we have an online survey. They go to springfieldtn.gov/comp plan. That's COMPPLAN. And you can fill out the survey. It probably takes, maybe 2 minutes. It's if you go through it, it's 2 minutes. You can spend longer on that if you want to and put more, thought and effort and time in it. Certainly we would welcome that. But if people could give us 2 minutes of their time, we've had hundreds of responses so far, and we're looking for more. It's been very encouraging to see the amount of interest from our citizens that we've had in our growth plan so far, because, hey, we've talked about it a lot. Mm-hmm. Everyone's concerned about growth. Concerned, and not necessarily with a negative connotation. Concern may be like, hey, there's a lot coming and I'm excited about it. Or some people are concerned about what might happen with things like traffic congestion and infrastructure and things like that. And so that's an opportunity for folks to be engaged and provide their input. We really, really need the input from folks on how we grow.
This is the survey that I mentioned I had done.
Yes.
Or last, yeah.
Yes.
Because it popped up on social media for me. I'm wanting to say, I don't know what the source was, but it popped up on something that I saw just on social media, and I just stopped, literally, like you said, 2 minutes. And even though I don't live in Springfield, I'm affected by it because I have a Springfield address. I have I get my gas bill is from Springfield.
And water.
Yeah, and my water, yes. Mm-hmm. And only reason I'm not on sewers because I live right next to the plant. It's not a good idea, y'all. And but I have that association, and plus I'm affected by it because I could walk. I'm literally across the line.
Yeah.
So the folks that are affected by what's
absolutely
Springfield,
absolutely, and most everyone are. No one. We always say no one cares about where the corporate limits are. The city limit sign is right out here.
Right.
There's no difference between, one side or the other. There's some service delivery differences there, sure. But folks that live on this side of the corporate limits are still going to navigate and travel through Springfield, shop in Springfield, utilize services and things in Springfield. So we would encourage anyone that not necessarily just residents, not limited to just residents. Mm-hmm. If you are vested in the outcome of Springfield's growth via the fact that you live close to Springfield, or right outside the city limits or something like that, then please fill out the survey. Let us know how you feel. We certainly welcome everyone's opinion. We talk about it all the time. I know you and I have talked about it, about how we desire and want public input. Mm-hmm. That's who we go to work every day to serve. So we need to know what we need to do, right? And so we're thankful that they've elected a good representation through our board of mayor and aldermen, but this is an opportunity for direct public input.
I love it. And these doors are always open, folks. They're not hard folks to talk to and get access to. So we just encourage you to reach out if you have any concerns. What else have you got going on?
All right. So we had some rezonings last night. We were loaded with rezonings. One of those was of significant interest to some folks that came last night, which is my father's house building on 10th Avenue. That did pass on second reading. So that has become effective, essentially enabling them to use that facility as for the cold weather shelter. And I it's probably a good idea to explain, because I have received some questions over the last month about, well, is that the best place for a homeless shelter? Is downtown the best place for a homeless shelter? And I said, well, first of all, it's a cold weather shelter. So it essentially does the same thing the fire hall used to do when that was allowed, during certain temperature nights, people would stay, and that's how fire halls everywhere, in different places would do that. So they operate November through February when the temperature gets below a certain threshold, and it's exclusively volunteer run. So it's evening based. So people come in the evening, they feed them and feed them breakfast, and they provide some other services, and they stay the night. but then the next morning they're out. And so it's not, I think folks were concerned about the loitering, and about folks that, and Mr. Phillips, who's the chairman of their board, spoke last night at our meeting, and he said, there are some folks that don't desire to change their lifestyle, but there are some folks who have been displaced, due to adverse circumstances or something like that. And those are the folks that they want to help and get back on their feet and get them going. And so, I want everybody to know before they just write off my father's house or knock my father's house, to find out what it is.
Yeah.
Find out find out who it's serving, and find out what place it has in the community. And is there, because the answer to the question, is there a good place for is that a good place for a homeless shelter, is where's a good place for a homeless shelter? Mm-hmm. Because it's going to be next to somebody's property. Mm-hmm. And that's always something that people feel like, so it's always going to be next to someone. And we have the NIMBY, the NIMBY theory, not in my backyard, right? Everybody needs somewhere for their trash to go. They just don't want it in their backyard, right? And so, and I don't mean that for home. I'm just using that as a landfill, because landfills come up a lot. Everybody, we need someone. We need these services. We need these things, but no one wants it near them. But anyway, that did pass last night. There was a huge turnout at the meeting. A lot of people support that ministry and that effort to help folks that are displaced or homeless by circumstance. And I've told the story to several folks I've talked to over the last month, that early on when my father's house started, and I had volunteered for it, and noticed that the people that came that evening had just gotten off work, and oftentimes as a society we think that homeless people are homeless because they don't try, or because they don't. And I'm not saying there aren't some like that, because we know some folks like that.
He was saying there's some don't want to change their lifestyle.
Correct.
There's always going to be that element.
But the ones that we helped that night, or the ones that we allowed, that came in and stayed, that they just gotten off of work. Mm-hmm. Some of them, brought their own supper. They'd stopped and got something to eat on the way in, because they're drawing a paycheck and they can afford that. And they didn't want to take more than they needed, right? They needed a warm place to stay. They would save the food for somebody who needs that, And so it struck me as odd, because it opened my eyes to a different scenario, because I think a lot of us are guilty sometimes of just painting folks with a broad stroke, and that's not necessarily the case with some of those people.
And I think I maybe shared the story with you. I had the opportunity to stop by Laundry Love one day, and that's an amazing program. And I was there, and there was a woman came in right at the last minute to wash her clothes because she'd been at work. And her husband immediately went to the back and started playing a video game. And so you look at that and you think, well, what in the world is he doing? He should be helping her. He had a stroke. And they ended up, because of his medical condition and bills, and he couldn't work, they lost their home. They're on the street just trying to exist, and just like, oh, I can come wash my clothes. Thank you. Uh-huh. And she's working herself silly trying to, to deal with this. He's back there on the video game because it's helping his motion in his hands.
Wow.
He was playing the video game as therapy. And I've seen that dude walking up and down the street, just pushing. He goes, I'm going to get back. Wow. That's the kind of people.
That's right.
And you meet those kind of people when you come and just check stuff out. Blew my mind. And we pointed them to some sources, my father's house. I imagine Charlene has probably met them by now. But she was telling me, the wife was saying, she goes, we'll stay in a hotel a few nights a week. She goes, my goal is to be back in an apartment before winter. But you and I know what those things cost.
That's right.
And the fees associated, those sweet kids that were in here trying to help people direct to things and helps and services and all that kind of thing, having worked in, benevolence at the church, you just can't even imagine. If you're coming off of a homeless situation, trying to get the fees together to pay apartments and start this and go, it's crazy.
It is.
And we need these things, guys. Hands and feet of Jesus. That's what we're doing.
That's right. It adds up very, very quickly.
Yeah. Let me pause real quick.
Sure.
Let me do a break, and I will try to shut my mouth and let you get to it. We do need to mention, though, we have got to talk about the Open Door Pregnancy and Resource Center. This is the 15th year, y'all. 15 years of serving families. This kind of stuff we're talking about is exactly what they do. Oh, my gosh. They just show so much love. They're having their chili challenge, 6 p.m. at the center tomorrow night. So we want you to get there, 6 p.m. at the center. tomorrow night. Come and enjoy some great chili and donate and just love on this amazing organization, Open Door Pregnancy and Resource Center. Love them so much. And we just want to encourage you to get out there and be a part of that. But I also need to do a commercial for Cumberland Connect. If you are part of the Cumberland Electric community, you are going to have access to high-speed internet, y'all. If you don't already have it, if you're like Kerry Roberts, Senator Kerry Roberts is going to be one of the last to get it. That's what we say. That proves that they do not show favoritism because he's our state senator and he's the last on the list. But what they did is they went to the underserved first. They wanted to make sure and get the high-speed internet to everybody who needed it. And it's one of those things that's a utility now. And if you are somebody that's struggling, we're talking about financial struggles, well, they have the Affordable Connectivity Program that you can be a part of. And that will give you, if you qualify, up to $30 to help pay for broadband services. And guess what? They have programs that start at just $30. So if you want to find out more, real easy, all you got to do is go to cumberlandconnect.org, put in your zip code, and they'll tell you when they're going to come knocking on your door. Or you can give them a call, 800-987-2362. 1-800-987-2362 to connect with Cumberland Connect. Awesome residential and business services. Anything you need to know. Again, this is for Cumberland Electric customers. All of you will have access, just like I do. You can join the gig club with me or check out all their packages. Again, cumberlandconnect.org, cumberlandconnect.org, or 1-800-987-2362, 1-800-987-2362 for Cumberland Connect. Let them know U-Turn sent you. Ryan Martin is in the house. He is our city manager here in Springfield. What's next, sir?
Well, also, I told you we had a lot of rezonings last night. One of those was an amendment to the zoning ordinance, and it became effective last night. It's for the new specific plan district regulations, and that's one of the things that I had mentioned. I think previously, we talk about the big 400-acre development that's proposed that will be coming towards the end of this year, first of next year. And this paves the way for that. It's a development similar to Berry Farms.
Okay.
People have been there, Indian Lake in Hendersonville, where it's more about form-based zoning. And we don't have to get into the weeds because we're trying to get people to wake up, not put them to sleep this morning. So we won't go that far with it, but it's unique. It's not something that we have. It's a game changer as far as our zoning regulations go. Our zoning regulations are very, very much 1980s and 1990s, and Middle Tennessee has changed, and we've seen that change, and those developments that promote community and walkability and things like that are kind of these regulations help support and enable those developments. So we're excited about that. That became effective last night. One of the biggest achievements and moments to celebrate last night was the board formally accepted a grant, the Violent Crime Intervention Fund grant that the Springfield Police Department received in the amount of about $197,000.
Oh, wow.
So it will go to support a variety of things. Now, here's the catch to that. And this is both good news and bad news. We had applied for about $2 million with the Violent Crime Intervention Fund. We did not receive that, and the reason we did not receive that is because our violent crime rate is not high enough.
Well, yay!
So that was the happiest $2 million that we've not received, right?
For sure.
And so I think that's important for folks to know. I mean, if we didn't qualify for a substantial, so everybody got, every agency got a certain amount. It was a formula-based grant. So we got this based on the formula-based amount. Everyone got this. The competitive part was on your violent crime rate. So we did not get the competitive part of the grant, but we received our formula-based share that everyone received. So one of the purchases with that is going to be a camera trailer. So this is obviously geared towards violent crime intervention. One of the things that we've seen, in recent years is the growth of crowds and events downtown. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that we don't talk about publicly is how much time we spend discussing security for those events. Sure. We've seen things happen in other areas of the country where folks have driven into crowds or done things in crowds. And so we talk about how to secure when we have 3,000 to 5,000 people downtown for First Friday Night Market or something like that. And so one of the things that we'll purchase with this grant is a camera trailer that will allow a good visual to monitor the entrance and exit points and different things in the crowds for suspicious packages. There will be people that will be on the lookout for things like that to make sure that when people come to First Friday Night Market, the last thing they have to worry about is their safety.
I love that. That's wonderful. And just all kinds of wonderful things happening here in Springfield. We're talking with Ryan Martin, our city manager. about all the things. One little thing, Penny Callis just asked, can you tell them again where to get the survey you mentioned at the start of the program?
Yes, absolutely. And thank you for that. SpringfieldTN.gov is our website. So if you type in, it's all one, no dashes, no hashes, no no spaces. So SpringfieldTN.gov, then /comp plan, COMPPLAN, all together, comp plan for our comprehensive growth plan.
Now, if you get to the website, is there any kind of a link on the website? Is there like another way?
I'm sure there is.
Yeah. A lot of times there is.
You could probably also go to our website, and there's a search bar at the top, and you could type in comp plan up there, and it'll pop up. Okay. I'm sure. So
very good.
I haven't gone to it that way, but I'm sure you can get there that way as
How
well.
How long will that be available to take?
It is through November the 15th.
Okay, through November the 15th. And I'll try to remember to remind people and send them there as well.
Thank you very much.
What else we got?
So we also had another rezoning last night, so buried in these rezonings are important tidbits, and that's why I mentioned those. So we had a rezoning of a parcel in the North Industrial Park last night on first reading, so it'll have to go back in November for second reading. But it's a rezoning about 5.5 acres of property that was purchased from us as part of a larger parcel from a company out of Belgium. And you probably remember me mentioning that a company out of Belgium is putting their North American operations here. They're a margarine manufacturer, and that brings jobs and economic value and economic input here in the city of Springfield. And so we're excited about that. They're moving forward to rezone a piece of that property so they can get it all zoned industrial to be able to start building and bringing their operations here. So we're super excited. They're a company called Agramont, or I don't probably say it exactly right, but it's Agramont. They're a Belgian margarine manufacturer.
And tell me, where is the property again?
It's in the North Industrial Park, right on 41 North at close to Pinnacle Drive.
Okay.
So after you turn, if you go up the hill, turn left on 41 North, the road that the 911 center is on, Pinnacle Drive, it's there at the corner, and it's about 15 acres right there.
Good.
Really excited about that, and excited about them getting started. It took a long time to put that deal together and to get it to come to pass, and we're excited about them. We also had an update from the Bransford Community Center. Robert Gardner came, who's a familiar face to us. He is our former electric director.
Busier now than when he was working.
Exactly. And Robert gave an update on the Bransford Community Center, where they are, their fundraising efforts and construction schedule. And so they're hoping they've got some things to work out, but they're still planning. They have a rendering. He produced a rendering for everybody last night, and they're looking to maybe get started, hopefully in the spring, I think is what they're trying to target to get that facility built. And so that was a good update because, of course, the city has set aside a contribution towards that project, and they're raising some additional money towards it. And so I think that things are moving along there. We did have, obviously, we had our monthly utility rate adjustments last night for gas and electric. Again, for those that are unfamiliar with how we do business like that, the gas we purchase on the open market, and so that gets adjusted every month for what we call our purchased gas adjustment based on what gas is costing. And then we have our fuel cost adjustment for TVA. TVA, we buy our electricity from TVA, and based on that fuel cost, it's adjusted. Our price that we pay TVA is adjusted each month, which is a pass-through to the customer. So the good news is it about washed last night. Electric went down 1% and gas went up 1%. So it was about a wash. We do expect gas prices to continue to go up, as they always do November through March in the cold weather season. So gas prices will creep up a little bit. We don't see things happening with the market like we've seen in prior years.
Like last year. Watching it and getting nervous.
So we don't see that kind of spike coming this year, so we're excited about that. We actually are. I was looking at our rates last night, and they're about as low as they've been in 12 to 13 months. And so that's really promising. I kind of hope there's some stabilization in those markets now, and I know TVA is getting ready to. TVA, I mentioned last month, is passing along an increase that they're looking at having to invest billions of dollars into generation of new power because of all the growth and things that are happening across the 7-state region, the valley they call it, that is where TVA provides electric service. So we do expect some steady increases from TVA, but nothing that's going to shock the people on their bills. If anyone has any questions about bills, we get that from time to time. Someone will get, and they'll think that the rates went high because their water bill is astronomical, or and when your water, if you're a city resident, it's matched. Water and sewer are matched. So there's not if you have a water leak, that's going to show up on your sewer bill because there's no way to tell. And so we have an adjustment procedure for that. You can contact our utility billing, our customer service folks at City Hall, and they'll help you with that. They'll also help. The electric department will come out if your electric bill's high and it's higher than normal. The rates didn't go up. That's what, but people will say, well, y'all must have gone up on the rates because my electric bill doubled. Well, hold on just a second. Let us help you evaluate that, because the rates didn't change. So that means something's going on. There's something on at your house that or something that maybe needs to be looked at. And so we have folks that can help evaluate that and look at those things.
Some old freezers and things like that, you have no idea what those things pull.
That's right.
They do. They pull a lot, and you just maybe you forgot that freezer was plugged in the basement, that kind of thing. I mean, it happens.
Yeah,
it happens for sure. We've got, of course, Lee Marie on deck coming up with the Ghost Show, and it looks like Fire Chief out there. Who is that out there with her? But yep, that's our fire.
That's our fire chief. Yeah, Jeff Gladowski.
That's what I thought. That's who I thought I saw out there.
Yeah.
I got to get him back in here. We'll have to talk to him ourselves, but we're talking with Ryan Martin. He is our city manager, giving us an update on all things Springfield. Why don't you go ahead? If you got, how much more have you got to cover?
Yeah, I'll finish out a couple things to mention that our police department received their fifth
yes, I heard
accreditation from the Tennessee Law Enforcement Accreditation folks, and that's we're only the sixth agency that's received 5 of those, and so having an accredited law enforcement agency. People, what does that really mean? Because all that sounds good, congratulations. But what does it really mean? It means that our training is top notch, which means we equip our law enforcement officers when they go out here to do things the right way and do it the way things are supposed to be done. It means that our selection criteria, we vet folks before we just give them a badge and a gun and put them out on the street. And so all of those things that go into it means our use of force policy. Or, we don't, we go through a use of force continuum and have a policy that's what it means to be accredited. All of those things are evaluated. You can't get accredited unless you're doing things the right way. And so I'm really proud of our police chief. I'm proud of our officers who work so hard at that and go out and they represent the city of Springfield well each and every day, and they serve folks in the public. Now, moving on to fire to finish up, we gave an update to the board last night on Fire Station 3. We've got to build another fire station, and I think Chief Gladowski might talk about this morning on the next show, so people need to stay tuned. But we are in negotiations with a property owner right now to acquire property for a third fire station, and so we expect that to take place over the next year. We're about 6 or 7 years, I think, behind on a third fire station, so not only do we need a third one, but frankly, within depending on how quickly this growth happens, we'll need a fourth one at some point. Oh, yeah. And so a lot of things that facility-wise that we're looking at, and but we're finally able to move forward and making some progress on that third fire station.
Very good. And great updates from the mayor and alderman meeting happened last night, and you're invited to come to these things.
Absolutely.
Right? Do you want to talk anything about that? We've got a minute or two here. Anything else that we need to cover about, because y'all have you want people to come in.
We do, and we had a packed house again last night. That's 2 months in a row. We've had a lot of folks there. We had so next month maybe there'll be a few more seats available, but we always encourage public participation, public input. We have the new public comment period where you can speak before the board of mayor and aldermen on any item that's on the agenda for that month, and so you just register. You can do that online and register up to the day before the meeting. I think by 12 o'clock noon, you can register before the meeting. If you can't make it, or if that's just too much of a hassle to get out and come to City Hall on the third Tuesday of the month, we live stream on. You can get those links on Facebook and YouTube, and we live stream those meetings. It's a good quality production. You can hear everybody. And you can see what's going on. You can see the votes. The votes will also be on the screen, so you'll know exactly how everyone votes on the different issues. And so you can, we strive, again, I know I sound like a broken record, but we strive to be as transparent as possible. The public has to know what we're doing because we're doing business for them. Amen.
Amen and amen. I appreciate you, Ryan. And appreciate all the folks that serve. Like I said, we got our fire chief coming up, and I've got Chief Head coming on. Not Monday, but a week from Monday. So he'll be coming in here. We've been trying to get our schedules together. It's so crazy, but love visiting with him and going to absolutely talk about that accreditation. That's
absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you
Ron
very much.
Martin, City Manager, Springfield. Thank you for coming in. And as I make my way out, I want to talk about Veterans Motorplex. This is a place for you to go every Saturday during the racing season, and their season is about to end, folks. So get ready. If you want to go to the races, you've only got a couple of weeks left because they will race through the end of October. You can follow them at Highland Rim Speedway. Go to the Highland Rim Speedway Facebook page. They kept their social media page when Jerry bought the Highland Rim Speedway and changed it to Veterans Motorplex. They had so many thousand followers, so why change that? But you're going to go to Highland Rim Speedway. You'll see Veterans Motorplex, the big banner, and that's where they keep all the announcements. If there's rain, if there's any kind of a delay, that's where you're going to find out about it first. $40 ticket will get you in the gate for up to 6 kids and 2 adults. My goodness, what a great deal. They got a great concession stand. Some of my students are even working in some of those concession stands and doing that work. I just love that he gave some of my kiddos their first job. But they're at 6801 Kelly Willis Road in Greenbrier. You can call them at 615-643-8725, 615-643-8725. Don't forget, too, they're going to work to have that trunk or treat from race cars coming up on as we get close into Halloween. But I'll get Jerry to maybe come in here or at least give me all the specifics on that. That should be maybe not this Saturday, but the next Saturday. We'll talk to him more about that. But he'll put all the information up on social media. So check it out. Go to Highland Rim Speedway. Find Veterans Motorplex. Get out there. Gates will open at 4 this Saturday. Racing starts at 6 and goes until about 9 o'clock. You're going to want to be a part of it. It's perfect weather for it. Good times over at Highland Rim Speedway, Veterans Motorplex. Tell them U-Turn sent you, and stay tuned for Sweet Lee Marie coming on in here with The Ghost Show. This is 1100 WSGI. God bless.